the DJI Mavic Mini, what it is, what it's not, and why it matters. Stay tuned. You're watching Ready Set Drone, and if you're new to this channel, I hope you'll hit the subscribe button and the notification bell so that you can be kept up to date with all the latest news about brand new drones like this one here. And if you're already a subscriber to Ready Set Drone and you want to get even more involved in the channel, hit the join button below to learn how you can join the flight crew and get involved in even bigger ways. So speculation about the DJI Mavic Mini has been swirling around the internet for a while now, and it's finally here. This is it, right here in my hot little hands. It is a tiny little drone designed for people who maybe haven't been drone pilots in the past and might be a bit intimidated by the idea of a flying camera. And that's what they're calling it, by the way. It's a flycam, a flying camera. It's something you can have with you all the time in your backpack. It's so small and convenient that when you want to get an aerial shot, it's ready to go at a moment's notice. It's got a 12 megapixel camera built into it. It's got a CMOS sensor. It's got a 3-axis gimbal, and it also is very easy to use as far as a drone goes for people who've never flown one before. Now, it does not shoot 4K, but it does shoot 2.7 or 1080p. So if you want to go above 1080 regular HD and get up to something that's a little more close to 4K, 2.7K is a middle standard that a lot of people don't know about or don't use, but it's built into this one, which makes it a step higher than a lot of drones that only do 1080. Now, this thing is not a toy. It is definitely a drone that you can use for serious photography and serious video, but it is very lightweight, aka under the 250 gram mark. But the thing that really sets the Mavic Mini apart is its approachability, or maybe it's its friendliness, or maybe it's just plain cute. I don't know, it's a little bit of all those things, and that's what's going to make it a drone that a lot of people who've never flown before are going to try. So as you can see, this thing is pretty small when it's unfolded, but it's really small when it's folded up. When you fold the 4 arms in, it's 130 millimeters long, 80 millimeters wide, and 60 millimeters tall. Not much bigger than a mobile phone. Actually, here's a comparison. And this is not even one of the giant size mobile phones. This mobile it's got a case on it, but it's not one of the big ones. This is a regular size iPhone 10. Now, part of the appeal of this thing is the price. It is $499 for the Fly More combo, which comes with everything you see here, as well as $399 if you buy it without the Fly More combo and you just get one battery, the drone, and the remote control. Now, this remote control is very similar in design to the other remotes. It does not have a LCD screen like the Mavic Pro and the Mavic 2 series, but is more similar to the Mavic Air and the Spark remote. It does, however, have a attached cable, unlike the Spark, which allows you to actually plug your either iPhone or Android phone into it to allow you to connect directly to it and not have to go over Wi-Fi, which is really nice because that gives you a nice clear signal of the camera as well as all the telemetry data in the app. Okay, so the Mavic Mini, the remote, as well as the battery charger and 3 batteries, well, 4 if you have one in the Flycam, all can fit into this little case. So I'll close this up, kind of show you what it looks like here. This is the case that it comes with if you buy the Fly More combo pack. So in opening this up, you've got your remote sitting right here. You've got your quick charger for USB, for the US plug. I'm sure there's adapters for different countries. And then what's really cool is this is a 3-port battery charger that actually has a built-in reader to tell you how the battery levels are. So if you can see right now, 2 of these batteries are fully charged and 1 is pretty much fully depleted. The batteries themselves don't have LEDs on them, so you actually have to have this to tell how the battery is, but it's very convenient. And then if you pull one of these batteries out, you can see it slots right into the back of the battery door, which is right here. And the battery slots in right here with little pins that connect. And if you're going to go ahead and fire it up, you're going to want to take the gimbal guard off. It does have a gimbal guard. I know some of the gimbal guards in the past have been a little hard to deal with. They made this one super easy. There's 2 little pegs on the top, and then it just, once you have those in place, just click it in like that and it's good to go. So the DJI Fly app is very familiar to people who've already used DJI Go or DJI Go 4. It's just simplified a little bit for new pilots. It doesn't have quite as much information, but it has everything you need in there to set up your camera, format your card, go into the quick shot modes, etc. So much like other Mavic drones, this one has some quick shots built in. It's got a droney, it's got rocket, it's got circle, and it's got helix. All of these perform very precise maneuvers around the subject with the simple push of a button, and they allow you to get pretty epic shots without having to be able to fly the drone as smoothly as the computer can fly it. Now, in terms of performance, I've been flying this thing for a couple of weeks now. I've taken it with me to San Diego, I took it with me to Galveston, Texas, down on the beach. I've flown it around my backyard, my neighborhood, in my house, at my office, and it flies like a champ. It does not have obstacle avoidance sensors, even though these look like they might be obstacle avoidance sensors in the front. This one does have a downward sensor that allows it to land precisely and also senses like your hand or something if you put it underneath it and will try to fly away from it. But it doesn't have forward, sideways, or backwards obstacle sensors like other Mavics. Now, it does have a lot of the same flight characteristics of a Mavic. Is it good in wind? Yes. I took it out on a day just a couple of days ago when a cold front blew through, and we had winds going 20 miles an hour with gusts up to 40, and it held its position very, very well. You can see in the footage there's flags blowing in the background, and those flags were just whipping in the wind, and this thing was just holding as steady as a little light drone like this could possibly hold. I feel like I wouldn't want to fly it in wind like that, but it's good to know that you can. Now, we did do a quick comparison. I'm going to do more in-depth comparison later, but just to see what would happen, we did a quick comparison of this quad to the other Mavic family, just to see what they all look like in 1080p. So if you look at this comparison, each of these is from a different drone. They're all shot in auto mode at 1080p, 30 frames per second. And you can see that the footage from each of the drones is pretty similar. I can see a little bit of difference in them, but as far as the overall quality goes, I'm pretty impressed that this one can hold its own against its bigger brothers. So another way that DJI has made the Mavic Mini more affordable is it doesn't have OcuSync. It uses enhanced Wi-Fi. My experience with it so far has been fantastic. I've not flown it super far away from myself. It's been within 1 kilometer of me, maybe a little bit further at times, and I haven't had a lot of issue with it. I know that with some earlier versions of enhanced Wi-Fi, there were issues, but in this case, if you're keeping this thing within visual line of sight, and it's so small, it has to be fairly close to be in visual line of sight, the enhanced Wi-Fi works quite well. However, you won't be able to use things like the DJI goggles or the smart controller because I think those both work with OcuSync rather than enhanced Wi-Fi. So as I mentioned before, there are a few things in the DJI Fly app that are brand new. One of them is a whole set of tutorials that you can actually watch about how to fly your drone, how to land your drone, how not to crash your drone, different videos that DJI has created to help new pilots. And I highly recommend when you open up the app that you go to the tutorial section and you take a look at those tutorials. The second thing, of course, is the templates that allow you to do really quick cuts of videos that you shot, and you can do them in sets of 4, sets of 6. You pick the clips you want to use, it adds some really cool transitions and text, and then exports it with music, ready to go on social media, makes it super easy to do. And then finally, they've enhanced their editor. So if you've never edited video before, or drone video for that matter, the editor is actually pretty simple to use, allows you to do cuts, transitions, add music, fades, etc. And it's built right into the app so that you can stay in the DJI Fly app and actually edit your videos and post them online immediately. Lots of interactivity and lots of integration with social media. Very easy to post on the social media channels using the DJI Fly app. So if you are planning to fly this thing indoors, and it does rather well indoors, I'd recommend using the prop guards that come with it. They're a bit big, but they definitely will protect it from damage in case you bump into a wall or anything like that. And flying indoors can be tricky, especially if you're new to flying drones. So I also want to talk for a minute about the charger. The charger is also a holder for the batteries. So you can keep 3 batteries in the charger, and that allows you to have them sitting in the box protected, and you're able to check and see what their level is by pressing the button. These little lights light up to tell you how much it's charged. 4 means full, 1 means discharged, like that one. But the other cool thing that I like about this charger is it actually will act as a power supply. So it has a micro USB in. That micro USB is used to charge the batteries themselves. You use this cable with the micro USB tip and this fast charger, and it'll charge all 3 batteries in sequence. But if you also need to charge your phone or the remote control, this output, this full-size USB-A, will charge anything you need to charge off of this pack right here, including at times when the pack is unplugged from the wall. So, for example, if I wanted to charge the DJI remote right now, I could just plug it in right here. This DJI remote is actually charging from these batteries. So it's kind of cool if your battery were to get low in your remote control, but you still had enough battery left or some extra batteries that go in the actual Mavic Mini, you could charge the remote this way. And then of course, if you have this plugged in via the micro USB to a wall plug like this, it'll charge everything without discharging these batteries. So it gives you a lot of options out in the field for charging, which is really nice. So also available for the Mavic Mini are a few third-party things, including a kit that you can put skins onto the outside of the Mavic Mini. If you want to customize it, it allows you to do some cool graphics on your Mavic Mini so you can see it and recognize it as your own, make it your own unique thing. I think that DJI has plans for this to be a mass market drone that a lot of people are going to buy, and therefore third parties will naturally follow with accessories for it, which is great for everyone because that means more choices in the way that you fly it and the things you do with it and the way you personalize it. So there is a reason that the Mavic Mini costs less than the Mavic 2 Pro and the Mavic 2 Zoom, and that's because it doesn't have all of the features that those have. It doesn't use OcuSync. It doesn't do hyperlapse. It doesn't have some of the camera settings that you have with 4K and other features in the Mavic 2 series. And that's okay. For someone who's just starting out and just wants to get into flying drones, or for someone who wants a low-cost second drone, it's a great option. But don't think that it's going to replace the Mavic 2 series, because it's not. It's really designed for a somewhat different market, and keep that in mind when you're evaluating it. But in terms of the flight characteristics and the way that it handles in the air, it is every bit a Mavic, and I gotta tell you, I've had a blast flying this thing so far. So whether you're an experienced pilot or someone who's never flown a drone before, the Mavic Mini is worth considering. At the price point that it has, for all that it does, it's got the features and the functions and the reliability that you come to know and expect from DJI. It's a very mature product that has the potential to take amazing video and photos. All it takes is your creativity to add to it. So that's it, the DJI Mavic Mini, the everyday flycam. If you like this video, I hope you'll give it a thumbs up, and I hope you'll subscribe to Ready Set Drone. I'd love to hear your comments and thoughts about the Mavic Mini down in the comments below. I'll be sure to get back to you. Again, thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time on Ready Set Drone.
They got problems on problems on problems on problems on problems on problems. I solve them. I run through the money. The pressure be calling. Left on my blessings. I feel like I'm falling. The birdie is back. Tell me I'm garbage. I'm going through something. That's why I ain't calling. Phone and progression is all that I wanted. A phone and affection. I summon it up.